Okay, here we are in the education section. That is why we're all here. The first meeting of the teaching staff and the family is through a home visit. The purpose of the home visit is to allow the child to meet the teachers where the child feels most comfortable, and for the family and teaching staff to start building a working relationship. So the teachers will contact families to set up a home visit time that's convenient for the family, and we call this a getting to know you visit. The teaching staff will ask the parent and the child questions to try and get to know the child and how they can work best with the child at school. Teachers will share how they run their classroom, the preschool calendar, their daily schedule, and the creative curriculum objectives that they will work on in class. They will encourage you to bring your child to school for a classroom visit, such as open house, share the procedures and policies for their specific school, and answer any questions you might have about the program. We also conduct a home visit mid-year to go over the child's progress so far and what concerns the family might have for the next school year. Now let's look at our curriculum. Our program uses the most widely known and respected early childhood curriculum called Creative Curriculum. It aligns with what is required for our NC Pre-K and Head Start standards and also links to our kindergarten teachers' assessment systems to allow us to share all of our data with them. Our curriculum is embedded in every part of our day, from meals to outdoor play, from large group lessons to child-directed play. We have objectives for learning for everything we do in preschool. Here is a sample of one of our classroom schedules. It's packed full of different activities throughout the day, but let's start, as every day does, with arrival. When children arrive each day, they are responsible for hanging up their belongings and taking out their communication folder for the teachers. Each child has their own cubby for their personal items. Many schools use some kind of communication app. However, even if teachers use these apps, we also like to have this folder to send home items that need to be signed and returned, artwork, and information from our program in the school. The folder has a side for items to keep at home and those to be returned to school. Teachers plan lessons, activities, and materials that will be in the classroom each week. Reading and writing materials are in every center in the classroom because children in preschool are in a very important phase of their lives to learn letters and letter sounds to help them learn to read. Creative curriculum encourages learning through play in the learning area of the child's choice, with classroom environment and materials intentionally set up to provide learning all throughout the day. Let's look at some of our learning centers and activities that are available in those centers. Here we have a reading and literacy center with a cozy spot to sit and lots of literacy materials and books. It is where children gain the foundation for reading. It is also a place where children can relax and enjoy the wonderful world of children's books. We encourage children to look at books, listen to recorded stories, and retell stories. Sometimes children dictate stories that we write down and bind as books. We read stories with the children every day. Reading introduces new ideas, helps children learn how to handle problems, and encourages them to love books. As children listen to us read, their own reading skills begin to develop. Every classroom also has a writing center for children to practice writing their names, their friends' names, and vocabulary words. Preschoolers are just starting to understand the difference between writing and drawing. Many can write their names and some letters. By drawing a picture and writing about it with a mix of letters and sounded out words, a child begins to learn the rules of writing. In the same way, a child writing his name on a sign for his room, even if letters are missing, learns that he can write things that others can understand. The Block Center is a fun place to learn cause and effect and test out ways to build different things. There's a reason that generations of children have loved building with blocks. When children lift, stack, sort, organize, count, and move blocks, they explore a variety of math and science concepts: quantity, size, shape, weight, mass, space, balance, and gravity, just to name a few. And they do it in a fun and age-appropriate way. The science or discovery area, children do what scientists do. They ask questions, plan and conduct investigations, gather information, construct explanations, and communicate findings. They also learn important scientific concepts as they study plants, animals, magnets, properties of material, light, shadow, how things work, rainbows, the human body, our senses, how things move and change, and more. In addition to learning science content, they learn how to solve problems together and how to communicate with others. The Art Center allows children to use their creativity and imagination using different supplies to create their artwork. It can get messy, but messy is fun for most children. Every day, children find a variety of art materials available on our shelves. Drawing, painting, pasting, molding, and construction are not only enjoyable, but also provide important opportunities for learning. Children express their ideas and feelings, improve their coordination, learn to recognize colors and textures, and develop creativity and pride in their accomplishments by exploring and using art materials. A Place for One, or Safe Place, is available in every classroom. It is a place for children to go when they want to be alone, especially when they are upset and want to take a moment to breathe and go through the steps for self-regulation to calm themselves down. We also have sensory tables where children can experiment with sand and water, and on occasion, different materials such as dry rice or corn, soil, bubbles, ice, pretend snow, and anything else the teachers can think of that's fun to explore. This gives children opportunities for hands-on learning of science and math, since these materials are easy to manipulate, pour, measure, compare, and contrast. During sensory play, we have the opportunity to talk about important concepts such as why something sinks or floats, what makes something dry or wet, solid and liquid states, and comparing quantities. When you hear the words toys and games, you might think that children are just playing. Playing? Yes, of course. Just? Never. In our classroom, toys and games area, children will have opportunities to use puzzles, small building materials, board and card games, and collections containing items such as buttons, bottle caps, and shells. So while the children will indeed be playing, they will also be counting, sorting, solving problems, strengthening their fine motor skills, gaining coordination, and building persistence. In the dramatic play area, children take on different roles and enact real-life experiences. They use props and make-believe to deepen their understanding about the world. Pretending is very important to your child's development. Children who know how to make believe develop good vocabularies, which are important for reading. They learn to cooperate with others, solve problems, and think abstractly. All of those skills are important for success in school. Our classrooms have iPads available for children. We are limited to 30 minutes of screen time per day, which includes any large group time with the whiteboard, so children usually have up to 15 minutes per day to use their iPad on their own. Now that we've covered all the learning centers, let's look at the other parts of our day. We have breakfast, snack, and lunch at preschool. Each school does meals a little differently. Lunch will always be in the cafeteria, and snack will always be in the classroom, but breakfast differs from school to school. Teaching staff conduct large group lessons for all children at least twice per day and work with small groups or individual children throughout learning center time. Large group lessons are with the whole group and cover many types of learning, as you can see from these examples. Charting, graphing, reading stories, answering questions, making predictions, and reviewing prior learning are just a few of the things seen in our examples. These small groups and individual lessons are based on children's goals and give the teachers opportunity to teach and assess children's growth. Another part of our day is outdoor play, which is required for at least 1 hour per day for child care regulations. Teachers prepare the playground with materials and learning centers similar to all of the indoor learning centers. Each classroom has a rest time. It is required that we provide active and quiet times throughout our day. Some children may fall asleep and others may not. Teachers can provide quiet activities for children who do not fall asleep. At the end of the day, children say goodbye until another day of learning fun. Here you can see car ride or pickup, which will be different at each school. So make sure to ask your teacher the details if your child will be a car rider.